All right, I'm not sure how to put this together correctly. I'm just going to go ahead and, first of all, ask for you to use the Holy Spirit to put this together. This has got to come from the Holy Spirit. This can't come from me. I'm just finding stuff, and forgive me for being sporadic, but I leave things open for that aha moment for you to pray about it, and instead of just being spoon-fed the information. Um, I'm highlighting things. Hopefully, they plant a seed and bother you a little bit. Like, what is he getting at? What is, pray about it, please. Allow the Holy Spirit to minister to you. Um, okay, this week's portion, Toledot. Okay, there should be some um, obvious living Torah phenomenons that are happening. Specifically, a red stew. Okay, we have Jacob and Esau. Okay, we have two nations in the womb. Okay. Um, One thing that stood out to me, though, aside from some of these obvious instances, when Isaac goes to dig a well, um, he goes to redig these wells that Abraham once dug and renames them, the names that Abraham. So he's putting the authority back on these wells, the same authority, the name authority of Abraham, and of course those promises. So what jumped out to me was, come drink of me, and I will make him a out of him will flow rivers of living water. Okay. Um, and so in that phrase of Isaac digging, I see a yod, um, in the hopes to revealing. So there's a yod and a hay, and I could be wrong, but a hay there because it's Revelation. I'm seeing, it's just me here, but you know, digging these wells that he sees, and he's separating. So there's a shin separating the dirt from the water. So you have a mem for the water, and then you have a noon for the continue, or I think an aleph for the father, which is Abraham, and then a noon. Um, so the continuing of life, the continuing of the authority of the father. Okay, so and that's in Genesis 26:18. So I put those words in a, so it's a yod hey shin uh, mem aleph noon, and put that came into I put that into a translator, excuse me, and the phrase that popped up was will be implemented. So take it for what it is. Now, also what I'm seeing is we have his herdsmen, right, his servants going out to dig wells, and there there comes in the Philistines come in, and they inject themselves into what's going on and claim ownership of the water, that which gives life, and the name is renamed. um to me, that I'm seeing evidence of what we're talking about with the vaccine, right? This injection and renaming and taking of ownership, that water is ours, that life is ours. Also politically, the House and the Senate, because there's two wells, right? And so maybe there could be two waves of, and I mean, we have two different uh, murder hornets injections, vaccines. That's the word. Um, we have two different vaccines in play now this week, and what are they doing? Trying to rename, rewrite, and put the authority of ownership from Abraham to from Abraham, and then who's the God of Abraham, right? Who has the blessing? So, anyways, so you can make those conclusions, right? So these are some deep-rooted warnings, deep living Torah phenomenons of what's happening before our very eyes. So sorry for being vague. I'm just pointing out some highlights here. I'm sure there's more information that could be found and studied in this. But just recap. We had the binding of Isaac during the election. Each limb was bound with a different amount of tension. Those were the different false reports of vote counts. You have the 400. So last week it was talking about the injections and Perna, how a warp speed came out last week. So that's wasp, WARP, SPEED, WASP, wasp, hornet. There was another rabbi that came out with hornet and the corona. Those two, each individual phrases or words came to 400. Hornet 400, the corona 400. Sarah's tomb or cave where she was buried in, 400 shekels of silver. Redemption, you take the mark, you cannot be redeemed, if you will. And then this week we're seeing what I just went through previously with the wells and the two nations and the red stew and the renaming. So we're on track. Pray. These are exciting times. So pray. Ask the Lord for more revelation, and definitely it's time to quit this apostate Christmas, Easter, this and that. Just things are getting crazy. Exciting and scary at the same time. It's time to dig into the Lord, and I'm not at war with. I guess I am, but I'm not at war with the believer and the Christian. It's just the point I'm making is, it's probably best that you dig into what the Lord has going on and His feast days and His holidays. Um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Jesus did it, so I'm sure you can too. I mean, the evidence in the New Testament is the fact that we do see the disciples and the apostles um, keeping Passover and all of the feasts after the death, burial, and resurrection. I mean, Paul even mentions it. Was it First Corinthians? Don't eat the meal in a profane manner. Some people have turned white as a ghost and died. I think that's when they ate the horseradish and didn't expect to know what was coming during a seder. You know, you're not supposed to go to a Passover seder hungry, by the way. So eat beforehand. So it's anyways. There's things encoded in there that Paul's going through. All right. Nonetheless, love you guys. May Yahweh bless you and keep you, shine his face upon you and be gracious to you, lift his countenance upon you and give you peace.